Hello, all you haunters, horror fanatics, gorehounds, and goblins out in the trenches of the internet. Welcome to Reaper Quarry Productions, where Halloween never dies, but something else might. I'm your host and creator of the channel, Dylan Cap, and since this is my very first video on here, I thought I'd just take this time to explain what my plan is with this channel and what you can come to expect from the videos I'll be posting on here. So, for the past couple years, I've spent most of my free time just out here in my workshop making Halloween decorations. You can kind of see a few of the projects I've built just laying around the set. And I do this all throughout the year. Doesn't matter if it's close to Halloween or not, because I really like doing it. It's one of my favorite hobbies, and I figured I'd make this channel to kind of show off some of the techniques that I use, a lot of the processes I've built up over the years, and hopefully give you some ideas for some cool things you can make for your Halloween display. Now let's get the obvious thing out of the way. It is now November. I'm filming this on November 8th, and it's past Halloween. So you guys probably won't have a whole lot of use for the techniques I'm going to be showing you in the near future. But like I said at the top of the video, on this channel, Halloween never dies. And so I'm not looking at the next 11 months as just not October. I'm looking at them as 11 months of Halloween free game. And over the years, I've had a lot of half-finished projects that I've just never gotten through. You can kind of see bits of them back behind my tarp here. And I kind of started this channel as a way to actually just give myself the kick in the butt that I need to really move forward and actually get these projects done. And I'm going to show you guys how I do that, the mistakes I make, and just how I've learned to actually do all this stuff. My other goal with this channel, aside just giving myself the motivation I need to actually see my projects through to the end, is just get a little bit better at content creation. Full disclosure, last month I actually started filming a video where I was going to show you how to make these fake Halloween headstones. I'm really proud of how they look, but I was actually super disappointed with how the final product looked in terms of the video. It just ended up having a lot of humor that I didn't really like. And I also went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando last month, and I filmed a vlog at that, also in an attempt to try and get better content creation. That's where I got Little Boo here. He's now my microphone holder. But I was also super disappointed with how those vlogs turned out. They had a lot of crass humor that I just feel doesn't really reflect me a whole lot. I was kind of just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. But I guess the bottom line here is that I'm not super happy with the content that I've made in the past. It just has so many issues. It's not the kind of thing I feel super confident showing to my family and my friends, and I'm hoping with all this that I can just get better at making videos and making content that I'm actually confident in, that people like you will want to actually see. Because there's so many home haunter channels on YouTube right now that do this so much better than I can, and I feel like I owe it to anyone who actually goes out of their way to check out my channel to give off a high level of quality in terms of just video production, writing, how I convey my information, and I also just want to give you an experience you can't really get anywhere else. Alright, with my mission statement out of the way, I figured I'd come over to my other set, which was only 2 feet to my right, to kind of explain what it is we're actually going to be doing here on this channel. And for the most part, a lot of these projects are going to be just kind of your standard Halloween fare that I think is fun to make, like these gravestones, obviously. But a big theme that I want to pursue with a lot of this content is sort of a mixture of two different aesthetics. The first which being like this just classic Halloween aesthetic with like the orange and purple lights, all these fun decorations I got laying around my set here, because that's what I grew up with experiencing as part of Halloween, and I feel like it's kind of been drained away from the holiday a little bit. Halloween in general just kind of doesn't feel like it used to, and I want to find ways to celebrate what it was for me growing up that left such a mark on me. And I kind of want to find ways to mix that with another aesthetic that I'm very much into, you can tell by the set, and that is horror content. I just find horror as an art form really fascinating, the way it actually tries to derive more of a response from you than a lot of other genres, and in particular, like the practical ways they can depict just the most horrific things being done to the human body. I find it very interesting from an artistic perspective how horror directors are able to recreate that kind of disgusting spectacle. And the first way I'm going to do that is with my very first video that I'm going to actually start filming right after I'm done with this, where we're going to take one of these cutesy, classic little trick-or-treating buckets that kids walk around your neighborhood with on Halloween, and we're going to make it look like it's filled with human entrails. It's going to look really cool, I hope. We're going to get like a cool fog effect in there, but I just want to find my own ways to recreate that twisted artistry on a smaller scale. Also, I'm going to recreate the aforementioned gravestone video at some point. Gonna kind of make it feel a bit more polished and just convey the information in a much smoother way. The final cut of that video was almost an hour long, so with people's attention spans being as short as they are, I want to whittle that down quite a bit, make it a bit more digestible. And also the animatronic you saw in the opening, I want to do more stuff like that. Animatronic makeovers are a big thing in the haunt community, and I want to find my own ways to put a unique spin on that. But with the first couple projects I'm going to be posting here on the channel, I want them to be a lot smaller and simpler to help both you and me kind of ease into the larger, more complex props. I mentioned I have some issues with procrastination. I think this will be a big help to do some projects I can get done in like a day or two before I move on to the big stuff. And I also want these to be very easily achievable with whatever scraps are left over at the Halloween sections of your local store, like Spirit Halloween or Walmart. A lot of those things are probably gone now, but a lot of the things I'm going to be working with in these projects, you probably just already have laying around from Halloween's past. And I want to give you some creative ways to actually mix and match all those decorations together so they actually get some use instead of just sitting in a storage bucket somewhere in your basement. And hopefully when you display these next year on Halloween, they'll have some new life breathed into them. So if that sounds cool to you, then make sure to tune into the next video where we're going to get started on that trick-or-treat bucket project, and I'm going to have to face the terrifying battle that every horror-adjacent YouTuber has to go through, YouTube content moderation. But if you like this video, this is kind of just an introductory video, but if you had a good time with this, feel free to indicate it with a like under the video, or if you didn't like it, alternately, make sure to leave some constructive criticism down in the comments so I can know what I'm not really doing so well. I really want to make these videos something I feel confident enough to post and let the rest of the world see and have tied to my name. And if you'd like to stay in the loop on all the other projects I'm going to be getting out in the next couple months, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try and keep a pretty consistent upload schedule, figure out the formula to get a new video out every couple of weeks, and we're just going to try and stay on that train until Halloween 2025. And until then, stay spooky.